Welcome back to my channel, guys. If you're thinking about getting into gold and silver stacking and don't know where to start, I hope I can help you guys out in this video. So you may be asking yourself, what's the point of stacking gold and silver? Why should I do it? And in my opinion, you can look at it as a savings account. So it's money you have there, you're saving it. You have it just in case of an emergency, or maybe you're saving up for a purchase, or whatever the case may be. The thing about gold and silver is it's gonna keep going up, you know. Sure, silver is very volatile. It has its ups and its downs, but zoom out and look at the grand scheme of things. Same with gold. If you want something maybe more stable, it's not gonna have as big swings up and down, consider getting gold. If you want something that maybe has more potential, and in recent years we've been using way more silver than we're actually mining. So in my opinion, silver is undervalued, and is definitely going to keep going up, even though right now it's swinging back and forth, up and down. And so which should you start with? So in my opinion, start with whatever your budget allows you to start with. Me personally, I started with gold. My very first gold purchase was a 1 gram bar. Since then, I've gifted it away or whatnot. But if you can't start with gold, you can start with silver. I mean, you don't really have to start with either or. I recommend having both. But, just start with whatever your budget allows you to start with. And here, we can look at a few examples of, what you can start with. So here you have some 1 ounce Silver Eagle coins, starting at $90. You can spare $90. I mean, just don't eat out a few days out of the week and you can get yourself a coin. And maybe if you even go to a local shop, the price may be cheaper. At least that's how it is for me. I prefer buying in person than online. I have bought online. A lot of people do buy online, but me personally, I'd rather go to my shop in person. The prices are better, and I don't have to worry about maybe something happening in the mail. You can also start off with fractional gold. That's what I really recommend if your budget's kind of tight, or maybe you don't want to wait for to save up for a full ounce. They're starting at about maybe 600. Just shop around, do some research. American Gold Eagles do tend to have a higher premium, so you could also get maybe like a gold maple leaf, which is a little cheaper. Yeah, they're going for about 557. But like I said, just shop around. You might find a better deal in person or whatever. And this is what I recommend: getting fractional. You can also go with the 1/4 ounce. It is kind of a steep price. We're not made out of money, but it's better to start small, start somewhere, than to just wait and try to save up for a full ounce. You can also start with something like this, a gram bar. And there's plenty of options. If you're first starting out, I would avoid the like gimmicky ones, like this, or the Barbie bar, or get something basic. Pamp. You could get the Royal Mint. Get something that's gonna be easy to sell in the future, so to speak. And that's why these American Gold Eagles have a higher premium, because when the time comes to sell them, you can do that easily. Another thing to keep in mind is the premiums. So the premium on fractional gold is going to be higher than if you were to buy a 1 ounce gold coin. you know, you're, in the grand scheme of things, you're paying less because you're buying more. So, you know, be careful with what you buy. I recommend to start off with, don't go less than 1/10 of an ounce coins. They do make 1/20th ounce coins, but at that point, you're paying quite a bit of premium, and you know, it may not be worth it. So, you know, there's plenty of options for you. You can choose and decide whatever you want to go with. Like I said, start simple, start small, and the main thing, you have to stay consistent. Right now, you may see the price of gold and silver and think like, oh, it's too late to get in. You know, you can't think like that. You have to just stay consistent and consistently buy so you can dollar cost average the cost of your investment over time.